Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We know it's been a minute. We thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and listening in to Chatting with CJ. This is episode 11 of Chatting with CJ. Like, share, subscribe. We're on YouTube, YouTube and Instagram right now. Without further ado, how are you doing today, CJ?
I'm very well, thank you for asking.
What's the topic of discussion today?
I wanted to discuss kindness.
Okay, so I'm going to give a prequel to the discussion on how we got to this topic. So I own my own business, and as well as owning my own business and making it happen, I also Uber in DC from time to time. I drive Uber. During my driving in DC, I met a wonderful lady named Melody Crutchfield. Melody Crutchfield is the author of Kindness is the Cure. We had a great discussion from where I picked her up in DC to our home in Silver Springs. And during that time, sometimes you make connections with people on just the energy was just on tap. And I mentioned and talked to her about my mother. So I purchased this book, Kindness is a Cure by Melody Crutchfield, and it purchased it for my mom. So this leads us to the conversation for today. Go ahead, Mom.
I wanted to talk about, I believe I'm a kind person. And I wanted to talk about the women who influenced, some of the women who had a major influence in my life as far as instilling in me kindness. Now, I'm not saying that because I feel I have a kind spirit and these ladies influenced me to develop the kind of spirit that I have, that I didn't have life experiences that were difficult. I did. But what I want to say is the kindness that's in my spirit was developed by my women five women who I feel had tremendous influence in my life. First, it was my mother, Kitty. And it was my mother's mother, Mary, who raised my mom. Now this is where it sort of doesn't disjoint, but it becomes a little different. My mom's mother, who raised her, was not actually her mother. She married my grandmother, Mary, and she raised her. That was Big Mama. So now I'm talking about, I've added three women: my mother, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother, Big Mama. That's on my mother's side. On my father's side, we have his mother, who raised him, but wasn't actually his mother. She married his father. So Martha raised my father. And then I have the fifth person that I want to talk about is my stepmother, who married my father. I hope you could keep up with that.
They can replay it.
These are the five women who had a tremendous influence in my life while I was growing up.
So tell the folks some of the, because we want to take it back to growing up. Tell the folks the formative years. What did they do to input? Like, what were some of the things of loving and caring that they instilled in you?
They instilled in me to be kind to people, to love people, and they weren't related to the people that they raised, but they raised them in really loving environments. Now, when I read Melanie's book, it started me to think about my life. And it's not like because you grew up in a household with your siblings and other people that everybody grows up the same way. They don't. You know, like you could have a very kind, spirit-filled person in the house and have people who are not kind and spirit-filled all in the same environment. So,
Chatting with CJ, episode 11. My mom was speaking about the different personalities that can grow up that are kind and unkind in the same household. And Mom, want to keep on going?
yeah, and I wanted to say that it's the people that we surround ourselves with that happen to contribute into the pot with the spirits that we have. And I wanted to really talk about this subject today because of the environment that we are in and how we should practice being kind to each other. We really, 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 really need it because it's going to help us to move forward and be good people. So,
Mom, here's the deal. Since having your aneurysm, I've seen how your kindness has played out and the people have come to your side and kind of rallied around you because of who you are. I would say that you, with the right ingredients and your kindness, you made your mark as far as your social circle, your friends and family, friends, most importantly, that really, you can see through your kindness how you've impacted their life. And I have definitely been a beneficiary of your kindness, your kind spirit, because I know I can be forceful at times, but it's through like almost losing you to really put me through a perspective of really even before that, but just really treasuring your kindness and understanding your kindness in this world. And last week we went through a situation where we dealt with a bank agent at Chase Bank who was very unkind.
yeah, he was very
He's
unkind.
very unkind, and
It's a shame.
Yep. And we left. It was a Chase Bank at Mondawmin, and we left a review about him last week. But he was very unkind, and what people need to understand about kindness is that you don't know what the other person is going through, because everybody's fighting some sort of battle, and that's what I understand in life. And you don't want to add to that battle. You want to, if you can, being kind, kind of ease it, because then they'll love to do business with you.
Right.
They like to be around you.
Yes.
And if you add stress to them, they already fighting another battle.
Right.
You know, Mom? So I know this was short and interrupted, but it was meant for you to say this, because I think through your recovery process, you have a new leaf on life. I see it. I can see the changes in you, Mom. I can see like a rebirth in you of some sorts, from the old to the new. Like you're receptive to a lot of things that you were not receptive to before.
Like the podcast.
Right. Like, like me understanding, like, for example, your computer skills have fallen behind because you weren't using them, and it's muscle memory. So I understand that. So it's me doing kindness and telling you what to breathe and read. And if you start breathing and reading on the screen, things will open up for you. Right. But it's kindness and not being an authoritarian type of guy. But you're a very kind person, Mom. Very kind, very kind. Is there anything else on that sheet that you want to talk about as far as?
I wanted to, with Melanie, she has set a goal for herself to
I'm going to send this to her too.
Touch a million people worldwide with kindness by the end of 2035. And if you get the book and you read it, then you get a broader understanding of the kindness and how she's gonna go about doing it. I would love to join her tribe.
Yeah, we're gonna connect because she's followed up with me, and I'm gonna send her this video we do
Right.
talking about her, and then I think part of getting your familiarity with the computer again opens you up to a digital world, a Zoom world, and then you can connect with her that way because she's out of DC and Silver Spring area, but she's followed up with me. She's a genuine person, and the backstory. When I picked her up, she chose a very difficult position for me to pick her up driving Uber. So when I picked her up, I was about to cancel this ride because it was too hard. But I adjusted my personality because she entered the car with kindness, and it simmered me down. She was like, I understand, it was tight. Usually you can go a different way. And now I know that different way, and she was absolutely correct. But based off of her kindness, we were able to then build the foundation and the infrastructure that I purchased a book. And I'm going to link her book in the under the video. I'm going to link her book and subscribe.
The thing about it is reading the book, talking about kindness. There are a lot of people who have a kind spirit, who have an influence on us in this world that we live in. It's now that we need to be extending ourselves to be a little kinder to others. We may not have the same political beliefs, or we may not have the same religious beliefs, but that doesn't stop us from being kind and helping us to navigate our way through the world that we live in.
Yeah, I think this country, we're a very kind country, to be honest. But it takes major things to happen, and then we can pull together as a community. Of course, you have unkind people that don't pull together, but the majority of people, I think, are kind out here.
Yeah, I do too.
I think we all in our own little worlds. We all have our bubbles up, but I think it's the majority. I always say it's more kind people than unkind, or more people that follow the rules than that don't, or we would have a chaotic society. But I think it's kindness. And with that being said, Mom, coming up on 20 minutes.
I just want people to start just being kind. Just be kind to your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. Just practice being kind.
And I have to add on to that because I've grown over the past year and understanding, like, everybody doesn't have the power of discernment or understanding, right?
Right.
Or emotional intelligence. But those who are blessed with discernment, blessed with emotional intelligence, you have a responsibility to still be kind to those who may not have that ability, because it's a certain awareness that certain people have and certain people don't have.
Right.
And some people walk the world in their own world. They're in this world in their own world. And just understanding that and kind of being aware, acknowledge their limitations, but don't hold it against them on a permanent manner, and practicing forgiveness.
Right. And the 5 ladies that I introduced you to that helped me, they really, truly helped me to navigate my way through some difficult situations, but it didn't disturb my kind spirit.
Right.
It helped to nurture it and to grow it. So I love being kind to people.
And you have a kind spirit. That's why when you were in the different hospital facilities, the nursing staff recognized that, and they kind of gravitated to you.
Right. And we're not trying to say that I'm this or I'm that. It takes all kinds to make the world go round, and we just saying, be kind.
All right, so we're going to end this off on a good note, Mom. So your hair looks extraordinarily good.
Thank you.
That's part of the reason why we didn't record in over a month, is because you had to get yourself together. You to your peoples. Your hair looks good, Ma. You give me that crazy look, but it looks good. Would you like to say anything about your new stylist? And give a shout out to Miss Vaughn. Miss Vaughn, she was your stylist for 50-something years.
52 years.
She recently retired.
And I left me with another lady, a young lady, that I connected with.
And she was kind.
And she was kind. She was very kind.
And your haircut looks great. So what we're saying, the reason I said that is because we're going to keep on consistently putting forth out the videos and episodes, because Mom has a new hairstylist. So we want to keep her looking Hollywood sharp in here. And thank you guys.
Thank you so much. And practice being kind to somebody, a couple of somebodies.
Absolutely.
Make it a part of your day.
Amen, Mom, and God bless you all, and thank you for tuning in. We worked the rust off on this episode. We back at it. This is episode 11 of Chatting with CJ, and God bless you.
Get the book.